Greetings and welcome to the Mid-Missouri Kayak and Weather Report for October 2025. I almost said 24 because the last time I did one of these was 13 months ago. Holding on to a tree here so it keeps shaking my face. So yes, at 3:40 in the afternoon on Thursday, the 9th of October, 2025, the temperature is 75 degrees, our high for the day. Lows last night, the last couple nights in the high 50s, mid 50s. We're going to have mid 70s through until Tuesday when it goes back into the 80s. The average temperature for this time of year is 73 to 75 degrees. And until this past weekend, we were like 15 degrees above average for quite a few days. So yeah, it's going to projected rain through next Thursday, and I decided at the last minute I should go out today since I do want to do it and I don't want to do it in the rain. It is really blue sky, just almost hazy. It's really high thin clouds, some scattered, but as I said, rain projected for the next 6-7 days. So 13 months. Why has it been 13 months? Well, a lot of you know, 2 weeks after my last one, which was on September 11th, I went into the hospital. I went to the hospital on September 27th with pancreatitis. I was in extreme pain. I was dying. I went into St. Mary's Hospital in Jefferson City, part of the SSM Health Network. Wanted to go to Columbia, but they say if I'd waited that long, it would not have been very good. I was severely dehydrated. It just hit me, just like that, and a ton of bricks. It knocked me out. I was puking. So yeah, all the interesting stuff. So I was in hospital for a week. Major organs were enlarged: liver, pancreas, gallbladder. They decided what happened was that a gallstone had blocked a bile duct, and which backed everything up, made everything in really bad shape. My liver turned out had a liver infection, so how long that had been brewing, don't know. And they said, well, you have to have your gallbladder out. We don't want this to happen again, but we have to wait for the liver infection to clear. In the meantime, I had lesions on my liver. I had numerous scans. I had lesions on my liver, and they said we need to biopsy them. And they decided, they didn't come right out and say it, they brought the topic, the C word, up, and that it could be cancer and I needed next level care. So they made some calls and they got me into St. Louis University Hospital in St. Louis. So I went there by ambulance in the middle of the night after a week, and I spent another 10 days there before I was sort of steady enough to go home. No, as soon as I got there, they said, no, it's not cancer. But with the liver infection, as I said, they had to hold off, and after a couple of months, they said, we're going to put you on antibiotics. I worked with the infectious disease people there in St. Louis, and they put me on 2 antibiotics, each of them twice a day for, I don't even recall, a month maybe, 6 weeks. And at the end of that, they scanned, and the infection was still there, and the doctor said, you know what, we can't have you on this long term, so we're just going to let it ride and see what happens. And it took until beginning of June. Had a scan, showed that liver infection was gone, so it took 8 months. So I had my gallbladder out in June, and they also said at the time, oh, well, yeah, when they did that biopsy, it caused blood clots in my leg and in my lungs. I'm sorry, I was having a hard time breathing for a while. I brought home oxygen, but I didn't use it for very long. But anyway, blood clots. And they said, you're clearly prone to blood clots. Since I'd had a TA in the past, and likely that was caused by blood clot, they said, you need to talk to your cardiologist and have your PFO closed. That's the whole of my heart. Well, that couldn't be done until after the gallbladder surgery. So after the gallbladder surgery, then the next month, I had, was that July? I think so. Might have been beginning of August. I had a cardiac procedure in which they put a catheter in each of my legs. One was a camera. The other one was a device to go in and close. The PFO was patent foramen ovale. It's a hole in the upper chambers between the left and right atria. And blood's not supposed to flow that way. And if it does, a clot can go through and go to the brain, which is how I had my TAA. So doctor went in and, yeah, 4 times. He pulled it out, put it back in 3 more times because he was trying a different gauge. He couldn't get it through the opening. The opening is big, but as it turned out, I've gotten fibrous tissue bridging the opening now, almost like a spider web. And he could not get the device through, which would have been an umbrella. It would have gone through, popped open, and then come back with an umbrella on both sides and would have sealed it, and then that grows over. Couldn't do it. So he says, I have to stay on my blood thinner, which I've been on for about 5 years now. I have to stay on them for life. So also in the meantime, sought a cardiologist because with my difficulty breathing that's been going on for a while, my doctor had sent me for a CT of my lungs, which had shown a shadow. It was called a ground glass nodule on my right lung. And they can come, they can go, they can be good, they can be bad. So he sent me to a pulmonologist who waited 3 more months for another scan, and what it showed was it looked like it was going to be scar tissue, probably from my whole episode a year ago. And held off doing anything for 3 months. With that scan showed that yes, it is scar tissue. And no, I do not have COPD, as I was diagnosed a year and a half ago in June, when it was said I have COPD, and the inhaler I took did not work because it only works for COPD. So they're not sure what's going on with my lungs. I bend over to tie my shoes and I stand up and I'm out of breath. Climb the stairs, I'm out of breath. I paddled around the lake just now. I'm on, oh yes, I didn't tell you that. I'm on Binder Lake in Jefferson City. And going all the way around is probably about 2.5 miles. And I've gone about 1.75 miles so far at about a 3-mile-an-hour pace. My app told me 20 minutes for the first mile, just steady paddling the whole way, all the way to here. Not winded or anything. I exercise, I do the treadmill, rowing machine, and elliptical, and the exercise bike off and on between them. And I've never really winded in the way that I am when I climb the stairs or when I bend over and stand up. Just the way it is. So yeah, that's my health escapades for the past year. Thought I wasn't going to talk about health this time, huh? Yeah, guess what I did. And hopefully I won't have to anymore. But there is one more thing. Well, there's 2 more things. My tooth fell out about 3 weeks ago. And I had wait a week, my front cap here, my crown fell off. And I had to go to a dentist to have it put it back on again. But I had been seeing a dermatologist. I've been seeing him for years for skin checks because I've had squamous cell carcinoma removed 3 different times. And 10 years ago, I had this dry patches on my skin and back when I lived in Buffalo. 15 years ago, the doctor told me that it was, yeah, it's psoriasis, something like that. It's something like psoriasis. As soon as I moved to Missouri, I went to a cancer center for a skin check, and they said, no, it's precancerous. Put this cream on. It's fluorouracil, or called Effudix. And put that on your screen, you're going to look terrible. You'll look terrible. You have to put it on for 3-4 weeks. And I did it last time. I did it all that time. And both sides of my face were really, really dry and red and scaly and spotty on my forehead. Nothing on the front of my face. And it was from sun exposure from being when I was a kid, and then plus driving. Most of it was on the left side, driving for my job. And so this time, there it is. There's more dry spots. And they said, you know what? The dermatologist said, I can't do freezing for all of those because it'll end up scarring with all those spots. So do the fluorouracil again. And I did. And for 3.5 weeks. And yeah, I mean, my face is red now. I'm in the sun. I have SPF 50 on. I've been out in the sun for about an hour. Half of it facing away from the sun anyway. But yeah, and it's all clear here. Yeah, see? Now, it looked pretty gnarly back there when I had all those spots and dry skin and it was flaking off and everything. But yeah, so that's all done. So that's it. That's why I haven't been around for 13 months. Well, I was exhausted for many of them. I couldn't even exercise until about August. different procedures. They were saying, no, stay off of it. Same thing with the surgery and the PFO, even after the surgery, the procedure for that. Even though it was not successful, he just did everything that he would have done. And so I only just started exercising again in August. But, I do an hour and a half a day. So, yeah. Oh, man, all of this hit when I hit 70. Of course, the PFO was found 5 or 6 years ago. But, yeah, all this other crap when I hit 70. Sit back the time machine, man. Put me in the way back. I want to go. I'm happy. I am happy. Well, yeah, okay. Going on and on. Oh, yes, what have I seen? Because I am kayaking, aren't I? I saw an osprey. It came up behind me and it went past me and it dropped a fish. And when I turned around to grab this tree, like not even a minute later, it flew overhead with a fish in its claws. So that was really cool. And I saw one great blue heron, 2 egrets, Canada geese, and swans. So that's it for wildlife. Okay, maybe I could touch one other thing. My book, Random Riffs, came out in May. Random Riffs are poems that I write while I'm driving. Sometimes I'll talk to my phone and dictate them and take into account what I'm seeing, where I'm going, and music. Sometimes music that's on or music that fits it. And yeah, that book is out. So that's pretty cool. I was featured reader down in Rolla, Missouri last month, yes. And next month in November, I'm going to be featured reader at Osage Arts Community in Bell and at the Speakeasy at Swordfish Tom's in Kansas City. That's going to be in November too. So that's cool. See if I can't line up some more readings. But yeah, books out there. Check it out. Hey, if you want one, contact me because I'll send one to you with a signature. Or you can get them at Barnes & Noble or Amazon. Oh, and yes, and then this week we released our anthology from the Gumbo Bottom Single Pot Still Poetry Society. It's an anthology of poets, regular people at the mic, open mic, and featured readers, some of the featured readers. And so, yeah, that's available too. It's called A Drop of the Pure. So poetry, yeah. Poetry is better, more exciting than health, right? Yeah, you can see them getting the sun. All right, I'm going to turn around so I'm not facing it, and I'm going to paddle back across. I'll hook around the last end of the lake, and it'll be 2.5 miles. I'm not even looking at the clock. I don't even know how long this is, but it's done because I'm out of here. This has been your Mid-Missouri Kayak and Weather Report for October 2025. Ciao, folks, and vlog on.